Sorry, I'm not sick. I just woke up this morning about 20. I'm not. Okay, so to really break it down for you, I went to bed at about 2 in the morning. However, I was also being stupid by watching videos on my phone for about a half hour, and I try to get to sleep. My stomach starts hurting. I go to the bathroom, not even going to explain what happened in there. I'll leave that to you to figure out. Come back out. It's nearly 4 in the morning. And I get some sleep. I have an alarm initially set for 7 o'clock. I wake up for a little bit. I was going to try to get up, but then I kind of closed my eyes and went right back to sleep. Then I woke up again at 8, then 8:30, and then I kind of laid in bed for another hour. Still kind of just watching videos and all that. And then I got up just about 20 minutes ago. Got up out of bed. And I completely forgot to record this episode. But I'm deciding to do it live. So in that way, it's already done. It's out of the way. We don't have to necessarily worry about it. Man. Because there's some big, big news that I did not want to leave just on the shelf. I wanted to talk about this. So, man. Because this news just recently came out, and this is actually pretty big. So, it was announced that Austin Cindric and Harrison Burton would be going up to the Cup Series in 2022. For Austin Cindric, we knew about this for a while. I mean, the initial plans were he was going to make a couple of Cup starts this year, which so far that has been going according to plan, and then take over the 21 for the Wood brothers. Since then, those plans have changed. Since the rumors of Brad Keselowski having an ownership stake and becoming a co-owner driver at Roush Fenway Racing came into the talks, and then eventually became true. The 2 car was officially open. It was an open slot, and that opened the door for Team Penske to get Austin Cindric behind the wheel of the number 2 for next year. So that is going to happen. The Wood brothers, why isn't Matt Benedetto? Why haven't they, I don't even know what they said. But I don't even know what the caption was. But they said that they were looking to bring up a young rookie, like a young, fresh rookie, fresh off of the Xfinity Series, and they decided to go with Harrison Burton. That one I was also kind of surprised about because, Harrison currently is driving for Joe Gibbs Racing. I mean, we have seen this before where drivers have gone from one team and then they kind of go over to another team that is affiliated with this manufacturer, but this is a little bit different. I mean, Harrison Burton is going from a Toyota super team in Xfinity to a Ford in the Cup Series. Again, this is also something that we've seen before. I mean, Anthony Alfredo recently did this by going from a part-time ride in the 21 last year to a full-time Cup ride with Front Row Motorsports this year, because that's the only thing he could probably have afforded at the time. So, I mean, this is going to be interesting. I mean, now that we know that Austin Cindric, I mean, I feel like that's something that we should have seen coming in the long run. Him eventually going over to Penske. I mean, there was really no secret that Cindric was going to go to Penske, or no. Eventually, later on in the long run, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But Austin Cindric is, I mean, that's going to be interesting to see how he'll do in the 2 car. taking over what is considered to be the captain's seat, I think, is what it is. And as far as Harrison Burton goes, I mean, like, that's great news. I mean, a little bit shocked about the choice of team, but still, hey, it doesn't matter. It's a great thing that he's now driving for the Wood brothers, and now these two are going to be driving the next gen car, which is coming out here next year, very soon, and everybody's going to be on a clean slate, and that includes Cindric and Burton because they're jumping into a very fresh car. Now, keep in mind, Harrison Burton has only been in the Generation 6 car once, and that was at Talladega earlier this year. So I'm thinking that that he and also Austin Cindric, since they're going to be both driving for two teams that have an alliance with each other, these two guys are going to be working together, trying to figure out how to make the cars better and make them drive better, make them faster, so on, so forth, vice versa. So now that we know that Austin Cindric is going to be going over to the 2 car, now that we know that Harrison Burton is going over to the 21 next year, now that we know that Brad Keselowski is going over to Roush next year to drive the 6, that now puts up the question of what is in the future plans of Matt DiBenedetto and Ryan Newman, more particularly Matt DiBenedetto, because he has worked so hard to get to the point where he's at right now. Started as, before I think his second tenure in the top. You've gotta be, no. Are we back? Are we back? Are we back? Are we back? Okay, sweet, we are back. Alright. Alright, we're back. Okay. I'm just making sure. Okay, sweet, we are back. Rewind a little bit. And I'm hoping that this... really hoping that this actually does stay. Anyways, so let me backtrack. So now that we know that Cindric is going over to the 2, now that we know that Harrison Burton is going to be driving the 21 next year, now that we know that Brad Keselowski is going over to the 6 to drive for Roush next year as a co-owner driver, what does that mean for Ryan Newman and Matt DiBenedetto? As far as Ryan Newman's case, it's kind of unknown. We have no clue if he's going to be done after this year. We haven't really heard much about Ryan Newman's plans for next year, for beyond this year. So it's just a matter of time before we hear news about that. As far as Matt DiBenedetto goes, man, oh man, I'm really hoping he can find an opportunity in the Cup Series. It doesn't even matter for which team. Honestly, I feel like if Anthony Alfredo gets let go at the end of the year, he could go over to the 38 for Front Row Motorsports. That is a possibility that it could happen. But Matt DiBenedetto, however, has just worked so hard to get to where he's at. Right now. With the Penske affiliated team and where he's able to race, where he's able to do stuff. I feel like Matt DiBenedetto has a really good chance of ending up with a team that's good. That's actually pretty good. So, if anything, I'm really hoping he can stay in the Cup Series next year. If not, he probably could find a home in the Xfinity Series, because so far we haven't heard an announcement of who's going to be driving the 22 next year in the Xfinity Series. So that is an open slot next year, and Dibby could fill in that spot. And I was also thinking about Joe Gibbs, because for those that didn't know, Matt DiBenedetto actually did race for Joe Gibbs back in 2009, 2010. I was thinking about that, but then an article came out saying that Ty Gibbs is probably going to be the highest option for the 20 car, should he go full-time next year. And I honestly think that little bogus. Think it's because of Grandpa's money, but you know what? Oh well. You can't really complain about it, and you can't do anything to change it. So, I mean, you know, right now it's Dibby's future is kind of a little bit in jeopardy. I mean, that's just when it comes to Cup. But if he can't find anywhere in Cup, Xfinity, I feel like there's some good spots for him. There could be some really good spots for him. Penske, I mean, he could still drive for Penske in the 22 car. Hopefully, that's an open slot for him. I'm really hoping that maybe, just maybe, if Michael Annett probably gets let go, which I don't know if that'll be the case. He might get a contract extension with Junior Motorsports. Maybe he could go over to the 1 car next year. I don't know. I'm just throwing out some predictions. I'm just throwing out some places where he could probably end up at if things kind of go according to, I mean, what happens in the future. But when it comes to the future, it's kind of mysterious. So we'll just have to keep our eyes open to the news, listen to what we're going to have to hear probably, and just kind of go from there. Anyways, that's going to do it for episode 18 of NASCAR Hot Take, a live kind of weird cut in the middle of the episode, but sorry about that. I mean, I don't know what happened to the internet. The internet kind of went down for a little bit, but then once I closed out all the tabs, it came back on, which was kind of stupid, but you know what? Oh well. Anyways, thank you guys a lot for watching. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a like, and if you haven't considered subscribing yet, I recommend you do so in order to keep up with some fine content coming out in the near future. And that about does it for me. I'll see you in the next one.